When Vice President Kamala Harris declared over the weekend the need for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, it sounded as though the number 2 official in the Biden administration was getting tougher with Israel. But was she?
Newsmax Chief White House Correspondent James Rosen joins us live from the North Lawn. He's got the latest on this story. James, good morning.
Emma and Sean, good morning to you. Vice President Harris's use of that term, immediate ceasefire, drew applause at the civil rights event where she spoke in Selma, Alabama on Sunday. In part, this was because it was language we hadn't heard from the president or the vice president before. But more importantly, it mirrored the language used by the Biden administration's critics on the Israel-Hamas war.
And given the immense scale of suffering in Gaza, there must be an immediate ceasefire for at least the next 6 weeks, which is what is currently on the table.
So, was this a tougher new line on Israel, perhaps inspired by those 100,000 Michiganders who voted uncommitted in last week's Democratic presidential primary? Or was Vice President Harris charting her own course, going rogue, opening up some daylight between her and President Biden? None of the above, according to the retired Rear Admiral John Kirby, spokesman for the National Security Council. Rather, he indicated Israel wasn't even the intended audience.
She was definitely communicating to Hamas the importance of accepting this deal, a deal which I have described as forward-leaning, that the Israelis have put forward. So, yes, clearly that was a strong message to Hamas to accept this deal and let's move forward. And I want to remind everybody again that the 6-week ceasefire she was talking about, the temporary ceasefire she was talking about, was in the context of this hostage deal. It's all a package. You get 6 weeks of peace with no fighting. That allows you to safely and effectively get all the hostages out.
And what about this question of daylight between the president and the vice president? Was there any?
Not at all, Steve. Not at all. She made it clear that she was talking about a 6-week ceasefire, temporary ceasefire, which is exactly what the president has called for.
A response to a question from Steve Holland of Reuters. President Biden returns from Camp David today. He will convene his competition council. Karine Jean-Pierre is scheduled to meet the White House press corps at 1:30 Eastern Time. Sean and Em.
Chief White House Correspondent James Rosen joining us live from the North Lawn with the latest details there. James, thank you.